Good evening. How are you? Tired? A little? Yeah, first day is tired. Yeah. It's gonna be okay soon. Tomorrow will be better. So welcome to our New Year retreat, the first retreat of this year. I'm very glad that the temperature is not as bad as the last few weeks. Today is quite warm. Today is January 12th, so we are in the middle of the winter. But in terms of nature's yin and yang, right in the middle of the winter, the seed of the yang energy begins. Have you heard about that? The yin and yang? So it's like this. This is yin energy. So when the yin energy is the strongest, then the yang energy begins to appear and then pushes its energy forward. And when the yang energy is the strongest, then the yin energy begins to grow and then pushes its energy forward. There is no end. Yin, yin yang. So it's like this Tai Chi movement, right? So you come to the retreat at this time of the year, the coldest season. So I wish its merit, the merit of this retreat, will grow eventually throughout the year and beautifully bloom this year. So today I'd like to talk about, I'd like to start with the Buddha's own journey. His name was Siddhartha, Gautama Siddhartha. He was born about 2,500 years ago in Lumbini, which is now Nepal. And he began his life pretty much in luxury. His father was a king, and he grew up as a prince in a beautiful, beautiful palace. He was protected from all the problems of the world. He was surrounded by the beautiful ladies and delicious foods and all kinds of good things only. But he was very curious about the world outside. So when he was 29 years old, Prince Siddhartha asked the charioteer to take him on a ride through the countryside. So one night, they went out. The first thing the Prince Siddhartha saw was what? Some of you may know this story. Yeah, old. Very old man. Like tottering, bent over and frail. The next thing he saw was a man who was very ill. Then he saw a dead body. He was shocked to encounter the aging, illness, and death for the first time in his life. And each time he asked his driver, "To whom do these happen? Do these things happen?" And the driver replied each time with the same answer. "To everyone, my Lord." He was deeply troubled by this human suffering and began to wonder. Why is there suffering? And how to end the suffering? Or is it possible to be free from suffering? Finally, he left his home. He left his wife, his child, his family to find out the answer. And he spent 6 years with renowned teachers to meditate, but could not get the answer. So he left again to find enlightenment. And one day he sat beneath the Bodhi tree and resolved, I'm not going to move until I solve the problem of human suffering. And he meditated. It was early in the morning on April 8th of lunar calendar that he became awakened. So he solved the problem of human suffering. And in his first sermon at Deer Park, after his enlightenment, he taught the Four Noble Truths. Four Noble Truths. So Buddha said, I teach one thing and one thing only. Suffering and the end of suffering, which is the goal of Buddhism. The Four Noble Truths are the existence of suffering. There is suffering, right, in the world, in our life. So existence suffering and the cause of suffering, and that it is possible to end the cause of suffering. The last thing is the path to end the suffering. The first noble truth is the truth of suffering. The suffering is a translation of Pali word dukkha. So it's a truth of dukkha. And it's translated into truth of suffering. There is not an exact translation in English. And dukkha in Pali means unsatisfactory, impermanent, unsustainable, suffering. It also means imperfect, unpleasant. So it embodies diverse aspects of unpleasant human experiences. Several months ago, I felt pain in my gums whenever I chewed food because there were gaps between my teeth. And I asked the dentist why, and he said, it happens as you age. And I was shocked. Wow, okay, I'm getting older. My eyes are good so far. But, I'm getting old, and everyone is getting old. And we don't want to die, but we die, right? We don't want to lose our beloved ones, but we lose them. We don't want to be in company with those who we dislike, but we are still there. So these are the dukkha of our life. Then is dukkha a bad thing? Not necessarily. Dukkha is not always a bad thing because when you feel suffering, then you would seek the answer. If you think everything is perfect in your life, everyone is so wonderful around you, and this world is just beautiful, then maybe you wouldn't be here. So just like the Siddhartha did. Our own suffering is the most frequent and true way to the spiritual path. However, if we are ignorant of the dukkha when there is the dukkha, that is the real problem. Let me give an analogy. While Sotaesan, the founding master of Won Buddhism, was staying at a hermitage, there was a dry pond in front of pavilion. And during a big monsoon, the pond was filled with water. Frogs gathered and spawned a lot of tadpoles. And after a while, the rain stopped and the weather warmed up. So the pond water began to dry up, and it didn't look like the water would last much longer. But the tadpoles were playing in the pond, wiggling their tails, The founding master said, "Is this only the case for the tadpoles? Human beings are much the same. Any pleasure we have does not last forever, right? It is temporary. To understand this is the wisdom. So unlike these tadpoles, to be clearly aware of that there is dukkha in your life, and to know that there is something wrong in your life, can be the starting point of your growth. So what is the dukkha in your life? What is your suffering? The second noble truth is about the cause of suffering. We all have uneasiness, difficulties, and frustration and stresses. And there are the causes of them, the roots of them. And Buddha found that the cause of all human suffering is craving. And craving in this context means wanting things to be other than they are. The sense that things are not right the way they are, and that they should be some other way. That craving, that wanting, is the cause of our suffering. And this comes in three different forms: anger or hatred, greed or attachment, and ignorance or delusion. These are called the three poisons. The second noble truth teaches us that the reason we experience suffering is here, within us. This is remarkable discovery. This is so important discovery, because if the cause of suffering is here in our mind, is within us, then what? It means that the answer to the problem we face in our life is also within us. So if we have any problem, then we need to find its fundamental cause, fundamental roots. Anyone suffer from acne? I used to have a lot of acne. What is the cause of acne?
Oily skin.
I'm sorry, oily skin? Yeah, oil. Oils under your skin, and the pores are blocked, or bacteria. They can be the causes of acne? Stress. Oh, okay. Yeah. So if you think the cause of acne is here, right under skin, or then we apply maybe you can buy some treatment cream and apply it on the skin. But if the acne continuously recurs, then why is that? What would be the reason? Whether or not the acupuncturist is sitting there, so I might be wrong, but the Oriental medicine believes acne is caused by the overactive heat in our organs. And so the food or stress or your health problem can be the causes. So if this is the case, to buy and apply only the treatment cream on the skin won't work. It can be working, but it cannot be that effective. So we need to think about what are the fundamental roots of our problem. What are the fundamental causes of the problems we face in our life? The third noble truth is about how to end the suffering. What a great blessing it is. Can you end the suffering? And the third noble truth says, yes, we can. It's great to know that there is already a way out. It's already there. And the possibility of liberation and inner peace is within all of us. They do not depend on any outer circumstance or characteristics or any other religious system. It is originally belonged to our human spirit, which is symbolized as this big circle. This circle symbolizes our spirit, the original nature of everyone. So this is the universal message of every great teacher, sage and saint. The kingdom of heaven is within you. But what about all the anger, and jealous, and despair, anxieties and judgments that we make every day? Buddha says that the craving, the attachment is a fundamental cause of suffering. So the third noble truth about the cessation of suffering is this. Suffering ceases when we let go of our craving. And to liberate us from the attachment. Buddha showed us that this is possible as a human being. If Buddha could do that as a human, then we could do that too. If you really resolve today to end the suffering and to practice to release your attachment, then we can all get there. We can end the suffering. The biggest obstacle to happiness is the belief that this is not possible, saying, it can happen for others, but not for me. No, I suffer from my tooth pain for days. This is different pain that I described earlier. So actually, I have that pain now. And Reverend MJ is sitting here. And Reverend MJ looked at me and told me one day in a joking way, hey, you know what? There is the state of human spirit of there is pain but no suffering. What is yours? What about yours? And I answered, mine is there is pain and there is suffering too. So in terms of tooth pain, I haven't gotten there yet. But I truly believe that I have the possibility within me. So I have the possibility to get the state of, no, there's pain, but there is no suffering. So we'll take another talk, or several talks, to talk more about how to let go of our craving and attachments. But today I just want to say this. The important step for all of us is to acknowledge that we have negativities and small self as a consequence of our human condition. But to be willing to look at them without judgments. It takes courage and self-honesty. So start where you are. This is the title of the famous book of Parma Children. Just like this title, just start where you are. Just start from what you feel. So only when we can acknowledge the negativity will we have the possibility to surrender and be free of it. By accepting it, we can transcend it. To do this or not is our decision. It's our decision. The last noble truth is the path leading the cessation of suffering, which is the Noble Eightfold Path. So we will learn this through the Dharma talks in this retreat. So today I've talked about the Four Noble Truths, the existence of suffering, the cause of suffering, that the cause of suffering can end, and the path to end the suffering. So in this first retreat of the new year, let us make a firm resolution to end our suffering and to follow the path of the Buddha. Thank you.
Thank you.